Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British trained actors tell fantastical improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. So, unfortunately, we are a few cast members down yet again this session, but a little bit of good news, kind of mixed in with that. So we are without James and Annina this time, as they are both out acting, but Isaac has returned!
I'm back.
And looking very cool.
It's hot. It's hot in England currently.
Very hot. Very hot indeed. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Sirenscape for the wonderful immersive ambience that they provide through their wonderful app. So check them out, sirenscape.com. And I would highly recommend using them at your table, particularly if immersion is pretty high up on your priority list. But also, Isaac, I think we need to talk about your backdrop, because it's pretty cool.
Yes, so my father is an artist with paints and brushes and all that sort of thing. It was relatively recently my birthday, the big 3-0, and he painted me this. Which is it's a real place. It's in Tintagel in Devon, which is where supposedly one of King Arthur's castles was. It is a beautiful part of the world. It's very special to me, and yeah, it was really quite emotional getting this as a gift because it means a lot. I just asked for like epic rain, and he has certainly delivered.
Yes, he matched the brief. Go ahead.
He done the brief.
So does your dad have a website that people can check out his work?
marcusfinch.co.uk. I think he has links to social media things as well. He's not that au fait with social media. I think it has his email, which is always the best way to contact him. He does commissions and things like that if people are interested. And you can see the length and breadth of his work.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, definitely check out Isaac's dad, Marcus, and his work, because that backdrop is epic. Good work, Dad. Bravo, Dad.
Well done.
All right, great. So without further ado then, folks, shall we get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest? Yes, let's. Last time, our heroes, in particular Johann and Sergei, had found themselves defeated at the hands of some gruesome, vile, undead creatures. However, they woke up to find themselves saved by a priestess or acolyte of Timora, Sister Garaele of Phandelver, who protects and caretakes after, if that is the correct term, the Shrine of Luck there. After a little bit of persuasion and a hint of intimidation from Johann, Sergei and Johann managed to convince her to accompany them to the Old Owl Well from which she had previously escaped being held prisoner by the Red Wizard there, and they made their way through the hills to the ruins of the Old Owl Well, which is where we pick up. You've not long crested the low ridge, spying over the crumbling ruins of an old watchtower, standing amid these rugged hills. The place is so old that the walls are only mounds of rubble enclosing a courtyard of sorts, adjacent to the broken stump of an old tower. And a colourful tent has been set up in the middle of the courtyard, but it doesn't appear as though anyone is in sight. Now, Johann, it's just you and Sister Garaele heading slowly towards the ruins of the old owl well, planning to scope out the area to formulate some kind of plan. So, what would you like to do?
Okay. So I say to her, so as far as you're aware, it's only the wizard and those creatures that are likely to be in this courtyard.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Let's hope that their dulled senses don't pick us up. We would wait until the sun sets, but we don't have the time. So I need you to stay with me. I'm going to see if I can get as close as I can.
Sure. The rain is starting to really pelt down on you at the moment. It's just soaking you through. The hills are getting a little bit muddy and slippery and things.
We must be quick. The train is turning against us.
I agree. But let's be careful and quiet.
Yes, stay with me. Keep close and keep down.
Of course.
If you see anything, you tell me. Let's go.
Immediately, yes. Okay, can you give me a stealth check then, please?
I can. That is 14.
A 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you manage to quite quietly move through the now kind of saturated ground. There's some bushes and things that you manage to hide behind at times. Sister Garaele, however, doesn't seem quite as adept at remaining quiet as you, and is snapping twigs left, right and centre and making a little bit of noise. Nothing too terrible, nothing too loud, but certainly enough to give away your position if you were any closer to the tower. But could I get a perception check from you, please?
Oh, of course. That is a good old 17.
17, okay. And as you're moving towards the ruins, you do hear some rustling and movement in some bushes to your left.
Do you hear that?
Yes, I do.
Get down.
And she ducks down behind another bush.
I draw my sword and cautiously make my way towards the sound of the rustling. And I get another dagger out in the hope of being able to catch it unawares and just leap and stab.
Okay. And as you get closer, you can see that whatever is in this bush is relatively large. Perhaps, certainly if it's an animal of any kind, it's of significant size. And you get closer and you can see it's certainly moving within the bush.
Takes a deep breath and quickens his pace. Does a little sweep, raises.
And just as you raise your blade up, the head of a familiar dwarf pops up from out of the bush. It's Thorik.
Thorik batters his sword to one side and is about to strike with his warhammer, and then Johann? And he drops his warhammer and just like grabs him by the chest and just pulls him into this crushing bear hug.
Oh, hello.
Holds him at arm's length and just, what happened? I thought, are you all right?
Yes, I am. We were ambushed by these creatures that ate at our flesh, and we were surrounded, and it didn't go well.
Thorik's checking him over and then clocks the person behind him, and then again, like, kind of pulls Johann behind him with his shield and raises warhammer and says, "Who's that?"
She healed us. She found Sergei and I and healed us while we were passed out. And we don't exactly know why. She claims she escaped from the wizard's camp. Being this close, Johann probably, Thorik's not really making any attempt to hide it. Thorik looks
spooked. And he doesn't have his usual kind of chipper disposition. He seems very on edge and quite harshly looking at this person. Says, "Who are you?"
She kind of stands up from behind the bush and she says, my name is Sister Garaele of the Shrine of Luck in Phandelver. I believe you're familiar with the town?
Aye.
Yes, I was held prisoner just there, and she gestures towards the ruins. She said, I managed to make my escape, and by Timora's blessing, I found your friend here, and your halfling friend as well, just in their most dire need, and nursed them back to health. And they wanted me to guide them here and help them with whatever it is that your friend here wants with the Red Wizard.
Does she seem like she's being on a level honest with me?
Give me an insight check, please.
15.
Yeah, she seems to be perfectly honest with you. Could you give me a religion check as well, please?
Sure. 5.
5. Never mind.
And Thorik just goes, "Timora, you see? Never heard of her."
Oh.
And turns away and just puts his attention back on you.
She claims that it's just the wizard and more of these creatures. We're just going to scope the place out, see what we could find.
These are strange woods. And Thorik's just kind of looking around and checking over his shoulder.
Johann looks at Thorik and notices that he's a little off color, and just looks at the elf and looks back at him and leans in and goes, "Are you all right?"
When we were attacked, I thought I heard something.
What?
I thought somewhere close by I heard Saga cry out.
Saga? Did you see her?
No. I thought you guys could handle yourselves, and I thought she needed help, so I went running off into the woods, and suddenly things got just so dark and cold. And I felt like there were eyes on me, yet I saw nothing. And I tried to call upon the magic, and the lights went out. And I couldn't see. Just felt this thing somewhere in the dark. And I couldn't light my way. And then I heard you and Sergei fighting those things. And I tried to find my way back. I was lost in the dark. couldn't see anything. I couldn't find my way back to you. I'm so sorry.
Johann, Johann's never been apologized to before. Doesn't quite know how to take it. So he just puts a hand on Thorik's shoulder and goes, It's all right. You're here now. We're fine.
Johanna, I haven't always been able to do what I do. I know you don't hold with such things, but it's something that once I could grasp, once I could hold on to it, it gave me courage. And in that moment when the lights went out, I was scared. And I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Listen, you all saved my life more than once. I knew that if you weren't there, you'd have had a purpose. You would never have abandoned us willingly. You made a choice. And now you're here. And we need you. I need your help.
Thorik looks up at Johann and kind of wipes the tears off his face. And offers Johann an arm. He takes it and
takes it.
Thank you. Now, let's go kill a wizard.
Through words never spoken. Now, let's get closer.
So as you're looking towards the ruins, you've basically got a choice here. You can see there are some old footpaths, perhaps long disused, leading towards the surrounding walls of rubble, which you could follow, or you can, and that kind of takes the easier path through the kind of slope of the hill that you're on, or you can try and scramble up the slope and see if you can get in perhaps through another way. The walls are low, whichever route you choose to take. It all really depends on choice of direction, I suppose.
What do you think?
You lead on. I'll follow.
Very well. Up the slope.
Okay. Thorik, could you give me a stealth check as well? Johann will stick with the one that you rolled previously. But let's just see how Thorik affects things now.
Okay. It ain't bad. For disadvantage, it's a 12.
Okay, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Okay. So you manage to, perhaps because you're going up the slope and it's requiring a little less speed and a little bit more kind of steady footing, you manage to keep quiet as you approach the surrounding walls, mostly, as I say, rubble. And there are a few gaps in the walls as well if you wanted to enter through one of those gaps, or if you wanted to stay on the outskirts for now. That's up to you.
I think we can afford a tentative peek through the gaps in the wall.
Right.
Okay. So you're approaching from the south. Okay. And there are some clear gaps in the walls, and you're just to your left. You can actually see one of the main footpaths, probably only about 20 feet from where you are, just leading into the ruins. There is directly in front of you. You can see an old well in the middle of the courtyard, and about 10 or so feet to its left is the bright red tent, and to the north beyond the tent and the well is the remains of a large watchtower, probably about, at its widest point, probably about 60 feet wide.
Still no signs of activity.
No. Although you do both, as you get closer, you do feel, or rather experience, a very horrible odour just wafting in your direction. A deathly smell coming from the direction of the tower.
That must be the well.
Right.
Still doesn't look like there's anyone around. I think we can afford to approach.
How close is the tent to us?
The tent from where you are right now is about 60 feet away from you.
Okay. Right. If they're in there, we need to be quick.
How many did you just say there were of these creatures that he can call upon?
10, maybe 12.
Too many for us to fight.
But if definitely not my area of expertise. If he's the one calling them, if we take him out, will they fall?
In principle. Only one way to find out.
I cut the head off the snake, as it were.
Let's go.
So you're going in to the ruins?
Yep.
What direction are you headed in? What are you heading towards?
I suppose towards the tent. Like Johann, do we want to just get maybe to the back, and then maybe we can.
Good idea. I'll try and.
So you're headed towards the tent, and you're going to try and circle round, is it?
Yeah, and sorry, go on.
No, I was just trying to get him in a pincer.
Yeah. I was also thinking like maybe if we sort of cut into the tent and like go in, like not through the entrance.
Okay. Zorro it.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
I don't know Zorro actually. Is he a human hero of some kind?
I read a parchment once.
Oh, I.
Okay, so you kind of deftly hop over one of the remains of the walls into the courtyard, but you're sticking fairly close to the ruined walls. Presumably, well, actually, do you want to? I'll ask you. Do you want to head kind of towards the middle in the quickest route, or do you want to try and stick to the perimeter? The tower from where you are at this point is probably also about 60 feet from you, but directly north, whereas the tent is slightly to the northwest.
I think if this goes south, it's best if we're as quick as possible.
All right. Just get in there and see what happens.
You're going to go cut straight, head straight there, not go around the perimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So
Keep low.
you cut across the courtyard, and you kind of pass by the well. You kind of use the well as cover, and you actually, Johann, as you're leading, do you want to give me another stealth check?
For sure.
This is to decide from you getting from the well to the back of the tent.
That would be a 15.
15. Okay, great. So you use the well as cover, and then you look around. This stench coming from the watchtower even stronger than before, and then you take a moment and then just hop from behind the well to the back of the tent, which is probably about 5 or 10 feet difference between the two.
Before I disappear behind the tent, I give Thorik a nod to say that I'm ready.
Okay, Thorik, you're also behind the well at this point. Okay. Can I get a stealth check from you as well to see how deftly you manage to pass between the well and the tent?
10.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you hop across towards the tent. Now, are you headed round the back with Johann, or are you...
I think so. I think I want to come in at the same place he does.
Right, okay. So you're both now behind this tent. Sister Garaele is following also. And you watch as she follows suit, hides behind the well, and then just kind of scurries over to behind the tent too.
Gets rapier out. I suppose we should say something to the sister, just in case any fighting happens.
Don't
Maybe.
fuck it up.
Essentially, yes.
Thorik says that. Don't fuck it up.
Okay. Johann takes a preparatory breath. And slice, bursts in.
Okay, so you cut through the side of the tent, and you cut through into a fairly well decorated tent, in the sense of like it's got furniture in there. I mean, it's still fairly rudimentary furniture, but certainly you wouldn't be expecting much in the way of furniture inside a tent, right? It's fairly spacious, and you just see this rather weighty, balding wizard in red robes and tattoos over his head, and he kind of stands up from looking over a book at his desk, and he says, "What is the meaning of this?"
Silence, wizard, your end has come.
Okay. Shall we roll initiative, or do you want to discuss?
Unless Thorik wants to...
No.
Sweet! Roll initiative.
You're going into attack?
Hell yeah,
All
I'm
right.
going to attack.
All right, okay, right. Let's do initiative then.
Depending on how, like, we haven't really got the drop on them. I was going to say Gladys might come out if we...
All right, let me just do the usual here. Bear with me. All right. So Thorik, could I get yours, please?
The initiative. Oh, sweet Berenar True Silver, I love you. That is a dirty 20.
Ooh. Have you got a bonus on your initiative?
Yeah, just +1, so that's a dirty 20.
Okay. Johann, how about you?
Would you believe it? Another dirty 20.
You are kidding me. What, have you got an initiative bonus?
+3.
+3,
Come on.
okay.
Of course he's going to have more.
Well, you know, I do need to check these things.
Cool.
Hang on, let me...
Thorik's just so speedy. So speedy.
All right.
You know, you'd have made a decent rogue.
Okay. And he got a... he got... Message and initiative bonus. Does he not have one? See, he does. Okay. Alright. Bear with me. And then I also need to do Sister Garaele, who is... Okay. Sorry, folks.
It's been a while. So I'm jammed out to this.
All right. Sorry, bear with me a second. What's my computer doing? My God. Getting a bit
Thorik
teeth.
furiously combs his beard before the fight. Like, right, in 1 second. Must look my best.
Okay. So this tent is going to be. Oh, why has it not done yours? Done weird things with your initiative. You had 23, was it?
Me?
Yes.
It was dirty 20. I rolled a 17. I
Yep.
got +3.
Oh, dirty 20. Sorry.
He has the higher initiative.
Yes, you have the higher dex. That's right. What is this doing? It seems to be every time I try and pop something in the in your initiative, it's just sending it in a weird way. Sorry. Right, there we go. So I'm going to put you then, Thorik, at initiative 19. So it's going to be you, Johann, then Thorik, and then the Red Wizard, followed by Sister Garaele. So, this tent, he's kind of at the far end of the tent, so he's a good 10 feet away from you at this point. So what would you like to do?
I cast stab. He sat in his chair.
No, he's now stood up from his desk, so he's not sat.
So I try and just run him through. I'm hoping to get with the element of surprise. I just run up to him and give straight all the way through.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, give me a roll to hit then, please.
Pin him to the chair.
Hopefully, the tip of my blade will then pierce whatever book he's reading as well.
Yeah, fuck your book.
I hate literature. Okay, that's a 4, but I have advantage on enemies that haven't had their turns yet,
You certainly do.
which is much more helpful. That's It's 19.
19. Okay, that's gonna hit.
Okay. Now I need a trusty D8. 1d8 plus 3. 1, sadly, but plus 3 is 4. And because trusty Thorik is within 5 feet of me, I'm gonna roll 2d6 for sneak attack, even though it's not very sneaky. Well, technically it's sneaky because we barged in while he's, having his downtime. So that's 4 plus 2d6, which is 1, 6, and 1, 3, which is 9, plus 4 is 13.
13 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay. So you charge in with your blade, trying to catch him as off guard as you can, and just manage to plunge your rapier. You don't quite catch anywhere vital, but you certainly catch the side of his leg, which immediately is starting to bleed. He's already looking a little bit incapacitated. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I say in his face, "You are abhorrent."
Okay.
It's a vigilant term.
Of course. All right, Thorik. You're
Cool.
up. You've
Thorik.
just seen Johann dive through the hole in the tent. You're currently outside the tent at this point.
Cool. So I barrel in, clock the wizard, and I want to sort of go so I'm on whatever side it is that would mean that I'm interposing myself between the exit of the tent and the wizard.
Sure, yep, you can do that.
While kind of like flanking around the side.
Yep.
Thorik just comes sprinting in, kind of steals himself, and just takes a huge swing with his warhammer, just trying to like he doesn't care what's in the way. He's just kind of like going through candles and books and just like wants to take his head off.
All right, roll to hit for me then, please.
Yes, please, Victor. That will be attacking with the warhammer, a 21.
21, you say?
21, I say.
Okay, that'll be a hit then.
Fabulous. Oh, big money. Full 8 plus the 2, so that is 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Bear with me.
Does he? Did he like that?
He did not like that. No, he did not.
Brilliant.
You kind of strike him, and you just see him kind of like stumble backwards, like absolutely stunned by the strike, kind of favouring the one leg as well from the damage that Johann's done. He's looking pretty messy right now.
That's cool, because I'm not done yet. Thorik like puts his shield arm behind his head. The rings glow on his left hand. He sort of focuses as well, and he's like, in Dwarvish, which I can't remember if Johann speaks. If he does, he hears Thorik say, "I am the light, I am the light," and brings his fist down, and this burst of silver energy coalesces around his warhammer as if it's drawing it out, as a spiritual weapon appears behind the wizard. As I use my bonus action to cast spiritual weapon. So let's get rid of that second level spell slot. Yeah. There we go. Cool. So spiritual weapon. You create a floating spectral weapon within range, which is 60 feet. When it appears, I can use it to attack, and then I can move it on my turn. Okay. So it becomes the same. It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same as Thorik's hammer. It's the same one that they saw before. It's much more ornate. It's smaller, of like a spiked back and a very ornate haft, and like a single-headed warhammer. Thorik kind of, and this hammer just crashes down, hopefully, on this person.
Okay.
So that's a 13 to hit.
That will just about hit, yes.
Not quite as good with the spiritual. Yeah. He's out of practice. So another D8. Okay, it's only a 2, so that's 4 extra points of what sort of damage is it? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to roll that.
Radiant.
Is it radiant? Force damage.
Force damage, yes, that makes more sense. Okay, great. So you conjure up this spiritual warhammer behind him and just crack him round the side with it, and you as he's kind of stumbling back from your hit with your own hammer, he then just kind of gets rebuffed from behind, and he just kind of this back and forth as he just takes hit after hit. Okay, great. Anything else you'd like to do?
Just like with my shield raised with the warhammer like resting on the top, just like what he said.
Okay. All right. So, you see the wizard start to compose himself, and then you see a silvery mist surround this wizard and you kind of see him kind of blurring a little bit as you see him just essentially vanish from view for a brief moment. And from where you are, Thorik and Johann, you can see to the outside of the tent into the courtyard, and you see him actually reappear at the entranceway to the watchtower.
So I run after him and go, "Come back and fight, coward!"
Well, it's not your turn just yet, so you're still within the tent for now.
I patiently wait while saying, "You just wait."
And you can see from where he is, you see him reach into a little satchel at his side, and you see him pull out some kind of piece of metal or something, and he barks out a singular syllable and points a finger directly at you, Johann. And you feel yourself stiffen and become immobilized, potentially. So, could I ask you to make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Of course. Oh, not wisdom. Johann is many things, but wise he ain't. That's a 15.
Okay. You hear that syllable and it echoes around you, and you just feel things start to stiffen, and you use every ounce of mental willpower you can to avoid further paralysis. This is a place you've been before, and with all of your willpower and your will to survive, you manage to push away that sense of stiffening and incoming paralysis, and you've successfully saved that.
I throw the wizard a wry smile, as if to say, "Not this time."
And you hear him call out to you, Johann. He says, "You have the air of death about you, boy."
Then let me share some with you.
Okay. Okay, great. So, Sister Garaele now.
Don't fail us.
She...
I forgot she was here.
She kind of pops her head into the tent and she says, "What do you want me to do?"
Can you fight?
I can try.
Let's not.
If you do, don't mess it up. If you can't, just stay out of the way.
I'll see what I can do. And you kind of see her kind of run away from the whole of the tent, not coming into the tent.
Wait, no.
and then you kind of hear some mutterings of some prayer of some kind, and then you suddenly see some golden flames erupt around the Red Wizard as he takes wrong dice. He takes a nice 5 radiant damage.
Thorik actually kind of like looks at her and goes, "Alright."
Okay, so we're back to the top of the round. So Johann.
So, we sort of run up to him as I'm going. I am Johann Hale of the Brethren Vigilant, and you are marked for death, wizard.
Okay.
And I attempt to score another leaping stab. It's not subtle. It's probably going to fail, but he's not thinking clearly.
Okay.
He is out for blood, and he wants it. So I'm going to stab him again.
All right. Roll to hit then for me, please.
Okay. That will be 24.
Oh, that's definitely going to hit. Okay.
Oh.
Damage
Okay.
for me.
1d8 plus 3. 2 plus 3, which is 5. Can't rely on sneak attack this time. So I will rely on what's it called? 2-weapon fighting as a bonus action.
Okay.
And we'll attempt to if I say, for instance, if my stab turns into a cut, I will then try and give another sweep at his neck with a dagger. See what that does.
So doing rapier first, is it?
Yes, rapier was 2 plus 3, so that's 5 damage.
Okay.
And
so my question to you, Johann, this damage, are you intending for it to be deadly, or are you intending to incapacitate him rather than kill him?
I really, really want to kill him, but I have questions before I kill him.
Okay.
So...
Well, because that damage was enough to down him.
Okay.
Without the need for your dagger.
Okay, fair.
So, how are you finishing him?
So... my leap presumably turns into a great slash across his chest, which presumably then brings him to his knees. Then I calmly walk behind him. Oh, he's bald, isn't he?
He is. So there's no hair to grab onto.
No. So I just grab him by the chin, lift it, blade at throat. I have questions.
And you see him slowly, and he's looking at you with very much the intention of kind of doing as you wish. Yeah, he's very injured at this point, and you just see him raise his hand. And as he does so, you see what was previously a moving horde of undead creatures gathering towards the door of the watchtower. You see them halt, and just they stood perfectly still, watching you. They don't appear as though they look to be at all intending to attack at this point, seemingly upon his command.
I look at them. I hadn't noticed them at this point. So then I look at Thorik as if to say, and then look back at him and go, grab him a little bit and go, "Are you Glassstaff?"
He says to you quietly, "No." And that is where we shall end this episode. Excellent. All right. Thank you as always, folks, for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, review on a podcatcher of choice if you're a podcast listener, or leave a comment and let us know what you think of this episode. Yes, we will catch you next week.